have a 2.5 billion market share. I mean, valuation. They're not public yet. Almost all databases are supporting. The Dreamio supporting Cloudera, Databricks, Snowflake. Of course, Snowflake is big on it. Then SQL Server, Oracle. I think Oracle is also joining on that. Microsoft, is already there in the preferred list. And as I dig in more and more in DBT, I see, oh my God, this has a lot of value. And as most of you are aware of that, I don't teach or I do workshops until I do myself a POC or a project and work with clients and all that stuff. So definitely it's a tool for data engineers, right? If you look at, we have a Jenkins and JFrog, CI/CD for Java or Scala or C++ guys, but now it's data engineers, right? Now this is the era of data engineers everywhere, right? You are looking at Iceberg, you're looking at Dreamio, you're looking at Delta Lake, all those areas coming in. Then more and more companies are started implementing the CI/CD pipeline and the data as a code coming in more and more. So the Databricks, the DBT helps a lot of automation and lineage and all the stuff. If you look at historically, when we build SQLs or stored procedures, and they are there in hard drive, right? Initially, everybody's laptop, and then slowly, then if the manager decides, okay, we'll put it in hard drive, then we don't put much in the Git. Now, lately, folks are doing that. But if you want to build more CI/CD pipeline model, or if you want to understand the lineage, if you want to do analysis, you want to do seed, you want to do reusable SQLs, right? That is a keyword, reusable SQL, and then testing, right? Automated testing, all those things. Generally, we don't do it in SQL world. We don't do that in the SQL world, right? So this is where the DBT coming in, and so Databricks is invested money, and Snowflake, of course, Cloudera supporting it. So it's a tool of choice right now for a lot of companies, and it's required in a lot of managers are asking about, okay, are we integrating with DBT? And so it's then the reason is, yeah, we are going back to the 2000, and because a lot of SQL stored procedures back, data warehouses are back, and data marts are back again. So, and of course in the cloud, that's where the DBT comes in. So my focus here is hands-on as much as possible. I will try my best. Again, there is no expert in DBT today. So because it's a very new tool, right? Yeah, it's a 1.5 year tool, but most traction in the last 6 months, 7 months. And so if you do one POC, even it's becoming common now in cloud world. Yeah, if you do one project, you are an expert. So I will try my best. Then it's not one session; it's going to be multiple sessions, and I'm keep adding more and more information, observability. Yesterday I tested elementary. I presented to the one client. So yeah, there are more features, and then you can build your own packages in DBT, and somebody can buy it from you, or you can modularize things. We will discuss as we go further. Okay. So having said that, let's get into why DBT and all that stuff. So we will discuss more on that. Okay. Okay. Why I am not seeing. Yesterday I was presenting. Okay, give me 1 second. I know why it is. Okay, so I don't want to do it in a SageMaker mode. Yeah, I think it has some issue. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So DBT, data build tool, and so historically, most of you guys are aware that we have been using. Okay, again, one more. um, ETL tool, right? This is common. Most of you folks have been experienced. So we have a ab initio or Informatica data stage, and then you buy those tools, you build your own cluster, and so even Oracle has the Golden Gate, but it's a cluster, right? You have to have your own machines, and then so it does extract and then transform and then load into your database. That is the old style. Nobody doing it. But still there are a lot of projects on it. But the new trend is ELT, right? The ELT is you have a Kafka is extracting, then you have files coming into your S3, I'm still using ETL tools, but smaller clusters. So you don't do a lot of transformation. You don't want to embed your transformations in ETL tool. Why can't you do it in the T part, the transformation, right, in database itself, database engine, right? So now if you look at here, Snowflake, it has multi-engine, right? Databricks, multi-engine, right? Even Cloudera, right? How do you think about multi-engine, right? Or Dreamio multi-engine. So that means you can have multi-clusters, right? And multi-engine means you can use Spark, Flink, and SQL. And so what that industry is been doing for a while. The T part is part of the database, right? Um, the T part is database. Okay, give me. Okay, guys. Should okay. So the transformations, right? We don't want them. So more and more companies don't want to embed the transformation in ETL tools, right? And also they're eliminating, right? The ab initio. I've seen a lot of clients they're eliminated. I see a lot of companies Informatica. So you need a basic extracts and then load it. Yeah, if there is a real time, then people use Kafka. But if there's database extracts, they may use basic ETL extract tools, put it that way. But all the transformations, then you build your warehouses in real time, right? And then not only that, today you want to see the lineage, right? Okay, where is my the source tables, so how the source tables are joined, what is my documentation, then what is my metadata, all this information you want to keep in one place, right? Then reusable code, right? Your teams can build packages. Then everybody can use other packages. That means a DBT, when you build a package, it's a project by itself is a package, right? So DBT by itself is a package, so you can reuse that packages. We will discuss in one of the class. You build your small modules and then others can use it, or you can sell it, right? That's what everybody does. So we'll discuss some of the packages as we go through. So the keep in mind, DBT is just a transformation tool, and of course load within the database. It is not an extract tool. That means it doesn't do extract and load into your staging tables. Right? Your Kafka may be doing, your Red Panda or maybe your Spark may be doing it into your staging table, which is raw data or maybe curated data or bronze data. People call bronze, silver, and gold models. It is common pattern in Databricks. They use bronze, silver, and gold, but yeah, it's nothing but garbage plus, garbage plus plus. That's it, right? Think about that way. Okay, guys. Hey, folks, be on time, please. And in Google invite, accept the invite. So then I don't have to admit. Raw data. So once you have raw data, right, you want to do transformations, right? Today, the biggest challenge I face in my client is type 2 tables, right? If you work for the TransUnion or any credit unions, or today I'm doing a project for credit union, right? And we maintain history of the people, right? So that means we have to build a type 2 table. And then, yeah, you can, now with type 2 becoming easy to write a code, but in olden days, it's not easy. But now with one line code, you can build a type 2. We'll practice that one in DBT. Then you can modularize your code, how to use it. So that's a DBT is a transformation tool. It is not extract tool, right? And it takes the raw data or maybe your other source data within your database, right? And the DBT does not do any extract from the sources, right? Your source has to load it. Then the DBT, then with all various packages, you can do a transformation and load into your data marts, right? And once you have a transform, then you can your tools is standard form. So today, majority of the projects, this is done by ETL tool, your Informatica, your Ab Initio, or maybe your stored procedures. So who is writing stored procedures? Nobody writing. I mean, there are folks still writing stored procedures, but the era of stored procedures going away. Don't write in stored procedures, right? Yeah, tiny stored procedure, okay, but don't embed all your business logic in stored procedure because it is not portable. What does that mean? If you build in DBT, right, I can use the same project for Snowflake. I can use the same project with small, again, not 100% perfect. Small changes I can use in Dremio, or I can use in Cloudera. I can use in Cloudera means Hive, Snowflake, of course, Snowflake database, or Dremio, or you can connect to Snowflake or any other Synapses, or you can use in Databricks. So same project, right? You build a project. Your company decided to go to from Snowflake to Databricks. Yeah, your DBT will work with minimal changes. But if you write in the stored procedures and all the things, yeah, then you have to. It's a challenge. So it's a transformation tool. You have to remember it's a T. That's it. It doesn't do now in the is not extract. It's a transform, and of course it has to load it into the other tables, fact tables. So you can build fact tables. What does that mean? You can do incremental, right? As the data is coming in, right? Continuously you can run in a scheduler manner. In a scheduler manner, you can do incremental load. That means, what does that mean? Is, let's say your users are coming in, then you want to know, you want to rebuild the counts of the users, or you want to rebuild the amount of for a given the given location by day and all the stuff. Sometimes you have late arriving data, right? So the DBT will take care of it, right? And yeah, of course, we are at the end is SQL. Okay, remember this one. This is nothing but SQL. Of course, now they introduce Python modules, but behind the scene, nothing but SQL. We will walk through that in part of DBT. Okay, so T part, DBT is a T, remember that one. So a lot of folks has confusion when I'm presenting to execute, oh, I don't have to buy, okay. Class starts at 9, right? Yeah. So it is not a extract tool. A lot of sometimes the sales guys are confusing to the executives, saying that, oh, we can, if you have a DBT, you can do. No, it's not. It is only transformation tool within your warehouse, and so that means it is using your engine, which is your database engine, the SQL engine, or less. For example, in Snowflake, it is using your Snowflake virtual warehouse. Okay. So that's what so it's just a transformation, right? And then automate the process. So, your source data goes to in Snowflake as a raw form. So today we use Kafka, and we use standard file transfer to S3 or ADLS2. So the project I'm working on, ADLS2, which is Azure. So we transfer files. Then we use Databricks, but we are not using DBT and Databricks. We use DBT and Snowflake. That's project requirement. So we run ETL process in Databricks. We copy the files to ADLS, and from there we
Can't hear your voice, Satya.
Yeah, I'm not able to.
We lost you. Yeah.
Your voice is break.
I think lost connection.
Do we need to send back?
Does anyone have his mobile number?
Yeah, I'm calling him. This is Ram. Give me 1 minute. I'll call him on his phone.
Hey, Manoj.
One second. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Satya, we can.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay.
We can hear you.
In between somebody joining us. Okay, so that's our project, right? This is we are working on.
Actually, we lost you somewhere around 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, got it. So managing. Okay, so I'm recording now. Is still recording. So going back, this is our project. So sorry about it, because in my subdivision we have an internet switching.
Your screen is not visible.
Okay, got it. Sorry about that.
Just to be sure, just restart the recording as well, Satya.
Yeah.
Satya, quick question. So DBT is purely the transformational tool, right? So, but the Spark and Snowflake, they also have the ETL capabilities. So why
SQL? SQL is the king, right? Made it easy, right? Reusable, right? Not many companies have a Spark knowledge, right? And again, Spark requires cluster, and then Snowflake, for example, Snowflake is not a Sparkable. Yeah, they're introducing Spark, but they're not there yet, right? Databricks, yeah, Spark, but the thing is, when there's a lot of data coming in a streaming model, then let's say you want to build a type 2, right? 1 year back when I built a type 2 in my Spark code, which is not easy, right? But here, I don't have to know what is the type 2 is, right? Just one line code, then automatically it builds my type 2. Right? In Spark, I have to do order by table, and then find the most recent row, then update the most recent row end date, then insert a new row. So I have to build all the match code manually, right? But DBT will take care of all these things behind the scene. Of course, DBT does the same thing, but in the SQL way. Okay.
Yeah, this DBT is like an IDE for your data warehouse platforms now. So it's you can use it, you can write code once and use it against any other data warehouse.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks, Ali.
And it's a SQL, right? And then of course, or maybe you can write in Python, but they recently introduced Python, but it's in infant state. I don't want to use the Python yet. Okay.
So over here, the code, it gets written up automatically, or we need to write up the code like the SQL if it gets written up automatically and we can modify it or something? What is
We'll walk through that.
Yeah,
right?
we'll show you. Yeah, that's the demo, I guess.
Right. So that's what we wanna walk through steps and all that stuff. Yeah.
So the key is it knows how to transfer that, basically translate that code for any of the data warehouse. Like, so for Snowflake, it knows, okay, how does Snowflake connection will work? How will it run the code?
Yeah.
It can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we using Dremio or Snowflake for our?
Right now, I'm using Snowflake. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Murali, go ahead. What is the question?
Yeah, last question probably. So given that, DBT is only T, and I know that there are tools like Matillion or anything, right, which can actually do my extract as well as T, like what DBT does. Why should I really go to DBT?
Yeah, that's what I said, right? If I built my DBT, right, I can migrate from Snowflake. I can migrate to Databricks. I can migrate to any other technologies, and then as you are walk through the DBT, you understand what is the advantage of the DBT as compared. Matillion is the ETL tool, right? Yeah, it transforms, it extracts, loads, and transfer. But if you want to build the lineage, if you want to see the metadata, documentation, reusable SQLs, that's where the DBT come. And then now you can also add metrics. They can now they're adding metrics on it. Then they're adding of course observability, okay, freshness, your testing, right? How fresh is my data, and is my schema is valid? Is my not null columns are coming correctly? Is my unique ID coming? All this work you can do build on this one. Yeah, we'll walk through.
Yeah, one thing to remember, it's an open source. I think that's the other part of your answer. It's an open source thing. So it's being built by the community at this point. I know one company is kind of spearheading it.
Yeah. So and when you go to Hemant, when you go to cloud, yeah, you may have it, and you may end up paying, but on the CLI, you don't have to pay anything. Yeah.
The quick question, Satya. This is Neeraj. I'll just take a minute.
Yeah, sure. So this is what I want to understand first DBT, and then before we should articulate why we need this one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So once we, so when the DBT you write the code. So when you talk about the lineage part, so is it only the lineage when it starts from
the staging,
from Snowflake, or it can also have the lineage before?
No, not before. Yeah, as I said, right, it doesn't know what is your sources.
Okay.
Right? It starts the lineage from your source of your staging within. Sorry, not the source. Staging within your before transformation. Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, when you showed that the the PPT, it was loading from source into Snowflake. So raw zone in the Snowflake.
Yeah. Yeah, raw zone, like we call staging raw zone, right? Yeah, so we use Kafka, we use Event Hub, and we use Spark to load, and we get files. We upload the files. Yeah, some people use Matillion to load into staging table. There are a lot of tools. Again, I want to reiterate, there are some tools. There is a gray area, right? They do both. right? So let's, for example, Metallion. Yeah, you can say, can I live with Metallion? Yes, you can live with Metallion, you can do everything. But what DBT does, Metallion won't do, or what Metallion does, DBT won't do. There are always gray areas, right? For example, Snowflake and Databricks, what is the difference? Theoretically, both are same, but there is difference.
Yeah, I mean, it has its own kind of compute. Databricks doesn't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what, right? So again, there are, but if you look at as we are practicing more, you will understand. Okay, go ahead. Who else has question? Yeah.
So Shweta, this is Raj.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's say the data resides in a disparate systems. One is in Cloudera Hive, and another, let's say, in a Teradata or database. And I want to take the data from both the system and transform and load it somewhere else. Is the DBT is the right tool, or
no? The to transform within your system DBT, right? Okay. So when you're talking about data mesh, right? Think about each entity is by itself, right? So let's say you want to transform in Hive and Impala DBT, yes, you can use it. And you want to transform data in Snowflake and in Databricks, you can use it. But if you want to combine all these sources, you may have to go with Dremio.
Oh, I see. Okay, so then DBT will not work. So it's only one system per se.
The DBT is not a data mesh tool, right? The DBT is a transformation tool within one system. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Satya, I have a question here. This is Koti. As you said, we don't need a store processors. I mean, a little bit of using store processors and all. So you mean to say while from the raw data we are taking into DBT for transformations, so we don't require DML operations writing manually, you mean? Updating and all we can do through DBT?
Yeah, let's walk through then, right? I mean, if there is a lot of for loops and if then else, and then if you do a lot of programming in your code, yeah, there may be a need for some Spark and Snowflake, Spark or stored procedure in Snowflake, but definitely people are moving away from stored procedures anyhow. Then if you write in Spark, it is a portable code. If you write in a stored procedure, you stick with your life with Snowflake, right? But coming back, as we walk through the project, yeah, we will understand. Again, don't assume this is the tool does for everything. No, right?
No, nothing like
yeah,
that.
this is the tool is providing you CI/CD, providing you lineages and all the stuff. Then we'll understand. One of the question is, do we do practically? Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm working on this project. I'm going to show those demos, and then we'll see how much we can practice in these sessions. Right? This is not a one session, right? Yeah. Go ahead, Praveen Reddy. Parag.
Yeah. So Satya, like my question is that whatever the SQL it is going to form in the backend, right? So is it like the open SQL, like tomorrow if the client they decide to migrate their data from a Snowflake, let us suppose, to some other data warehousing tool. So whatever the SQL it has got, formulated into the backend, can it be transferred to the other tool or not?
Yeah. So if you build your Databricks project, right, and your connection says, okay, the 99% of the when you build your code in Databricks is not specific to any tool, either Snowflake or in DBT. It's not specific to Databricks or it's not specific to Snowflake. Only some areas. For example, let's say you want to build a cluster key, then you may have to add a cluster key in if you're doing a Snowflake design, or if you are doing Databricks, you may use a georder or something like that. But when if you are using the standard DBT, you need to change the connection. Then if you have exactly same table, exactly same databases, then yes, the same Databricks will be portable too from Snowflake to Databricks, because you have to rebuild your code again Rebuild code means recompile, put it that way, or DBT build or DBT compile based on your connection. Wherever it is connecting to the target database, it will recompile the code.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you are writing 99% specific to DBT. Only in a few areas you might be doing, the again, data types. For example, money is a data type in SQL Server. Money is not a data type in Snowflake. So those areas, yeah, you may have to adjust. Yeah, go ahead.
Satya, answer here. How does this DBT compare against the cloud native solutions? Like, here we have Azure Data Factory. We have AWS Glue.
Sorry, so that you're breaking. Can you repeat again?
Is it clear now?
Yeah.
So DBT, how does we compare it against the cloud native solutions? Like in Azure, we have Data Factory. In AWS, we have Glue. They themselves are capable of.
Yeah, good. Data Factory is a orchestration tool. Put it that way, a kind of orchestration tool and transformation tool. As for example, Data Factory, right, or an NiFi, in Cloudera domain. So Data Factory is okay. You connect to Kafka, you read a event, or you connect to file, you read an event, you do a transformation, then you load. So that's what the data. So Data Factory is kind of a ETL tool. You can do connect to the source and extract, and then you can do transformation. You can load into the tables, right? But it is not. It is like a Medallion. It is like a smaller version of Medallion, put it that way, or NiFi, right? But yeah, it is not comparable. Next, what is another tool you mentioned?
I mean, in AWS, we have Glue.
Yeah, Glue is again, behind the Glue is a Spark, right?
Yeah.
It is a serverless Spark engine, Glue, right? And of course, it needs a Tina catalog and then store all the stuff. But Glue is, instead of using EMR Spark, you are using Glue Spark. But it is again, it's totally different.
So most of the time, Satya, I've seen like client will go for a cloud-based database.
Yeah, so DBT is a cloud-based today. Right now I'm presenting in a cheaper way that's free. But yeah, DBT in cloud. If you go to Snowflake, you have a DBT. They will give you the DBT marketplace. When you go to Databricks, you have a DBT. So yeah, these are, and then there is a cloud version. Exactly same thing what we do practice in and CLI, you can do. They will give you a GUI screen. So yeah, it is there in the cloud.
Yeah, perfectly fine, Satya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question, Satya, this is Neeraj again. So, for example, there's a development team which is working on Snowflake and writing code in DBT. Can there be a testing team which can leverage the same package or code within DBT and test it in another environment like Cloudera and test the same code in a cheaper version, maybe something?
Yes, right. Yeah, right. So that's what I'm right. As if you have a same tables in same database names or same setup in Cloudera, Impala, or Hive, right? If you have same setup in Databricks, you have a same setup in Snowflake. Yeah, same DBT project which should work. I don't want to say will work because there may be small tweaking here and there if the data type issues mostly, right? But if you are using standard data primitives, then we are fine. But if you are using object-oriented type like money or something, there may be issues.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, good. Thank you all. So there's again, it's open source. It's still open source, but there are companies started selling then in the particularly when you go to the cloud. So everything is in select statements, right? You can whatever ANSI select statement you can write. Then they will behind the scene convert. Then now what's happening is a lot of packages are coming, right? For example, one of the packages we are talking about more recently, how to monitor my cost in Snowflake, right? And then there's a package, right? And all I have to do is enable that package, then they automatically build my Snowflake the cost monitoring, right? Then or you can build your own DBT project and you can sell it. So and then DBT uses Ninja, right? So what is this Ninja does is you can use for loops, right? If then else statements and variables and a reuse of the SQL. That means, let's say you wrote a SQL and you want to reuse the SQL in different modules, you can use Ninja, right? Then if you want to do a for loops, or if you want to do pivoting using some list of values or set of values or dictionary, right? So you can do that. Now they're adding Python, right? So instead of SQL, right, you can do Python, of course, under then embedded SQLs within the Python. You can build the entire code, and then you don't have to even write a stored procedures. I have not tested the Python module set. They just released in a couple of months back, but you can do things in Python. So I suggest everyone should learn Python, because Python is inching towards C++ capabilities, right? Python 11 particularly, and majority of the projects in Python. So today we do Databricks in Python, right? And we use Databricks SQL engine. Then we we run the rules engine. Then we move into Snowflake, and then we use DBT to do all the transformation, type 2 dimensions and all the stuff. Then of course, front end, whatever they're using it, right? So, but again, it generates the SQL. You write in, you use Jinja functions and SQL statements, but then it builds entire SQLs, and then it knows the order, right? DBT knows the order of the DAGs they call, right? Which table need to be built first, which table to build next, and all the stuff. It builds that. It understands the lineage, and then of course modernize the code. The key is version control, right? Now DBT fully integrated with Git, and then you can build your CI/CD pipelines. So you modify the code, you commit, and you commit and push to the Git, and then pull request, and if somebody approves, it automatically deploys into your target. Now in the DBT, you can say, oh, it is a production database, do things. If it is a Monday, do these things. Or if you want to do incremental, okay, or you can do all things using Jinja functions, right? Okay, so DBT run, it's again all single commands, right? So what basically SQL deserves a proper place, right? Then if you look at here, using reference model, right, you don't have to hard code table names. Okay, so now you look at this, and we don't hard code any table names. Everything is derived from a property file. So now if you change the database name, then that's fine. But as long as you have the same table name, let's say you move a table from one database to other database, but if you change your properties file, then it will know your table name. Or you can refer another table as a model, and then you can do that. So then, of course, templating, then it integrates with the Git. And now you can also have modules integrating with Slack. I think I will do the demo in one of the class. So let's say you ran your tests, right? You run your QA and test. Then automatically any failure test you can put it into Slack. And of course, freshness. This is common problem we see. Okay. Let's say you are a front-end team, and then they want to know, hey, has data been loaded this morning? Okay, is my the ETL extract is successful? How do you know that, right? Somebody has to log into the database.
Did we lose him again?
Seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him.
Not only him, like most of them facing issues, suburbs, Chicago suburbs. Even I'm facing that issue, network issue.
Can someone call Satya? I texted him.
Yeah, okay, let me call him. I'm sure he's aware actually. Maybe he said that internet issues. He might be trying to get back.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to voicemail.
Thanks, Ram.
I think till Satya is back. Can I ask a question to anyone? I mean, we can do the transformation in Spark also, correct? Like, is it just because we want to be comfortable with SQL we are going for DBT?
Raj, your voice is breaking. It's very low.
Okay. No, I just wanted to understand that. Is it, I mean, transformation can be done in PySpark also, like Databricks. I think even Snowflake can do the transformation internally. I'm not sure, I've never used Snowflake before, but Databricks is the one where we do all the transformation in the PySpark. So is it because we want to use SQL for the transformation? DBT is like kind of a tool.
So you can build a package which is reusable products. And you don't need to write much code. So part you can do the transformation, but you have to write code, you have to maintain it.
Hi Raj, I think if you can hear me, I can probably tell you what is the advantages of DBT over others.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So as Satya said, the first thing is modularity. So you can have module by module. Say for staging, you can have one module, and then you want to transform, say, from staging to say bronze table or whatever table, silver table, you can have one module, and then from there to gold level where you have the business aggregates, you can have one module. So you have the modularity which is available in the DBT. That is one thing, and the second thing is like transformations. Sorry, this modularity can be tested as and when you require. So that piece, the first piece can be tested, the first module can be tested, and that can be reused. So you have, say, 10 downstream systems who is using the same data. You can create one module for staging and give it to them, and so they can use it to consume at their end. The other, say, the other team can use it, use the same staging data, and then they can have other transformation at their end. So it provides you like more like somewhat like say one-to-one mapping sort of thing. From there you can build your own models depending on your requirement for your team. And the third important thing what I noticed was like, as Satya said, you will have a property file where you can change the change the which is normally a YAML file where you can change the database name or the table name and everything. So if there is any changes in the database or the tables and all, it can be only at one location, the properties file or the YAML file where you can refer to, and that will be passed on as a data lineage into the multiple modules. So considering all this, like and if you look at the funding for them, even Snowflake has invested in them. Even the Databricks is invested in them. It doesn't say like it doesn't mean like you cannot build the same thing in Databricks. I tried DBT on Databricks, it really worked. But if I had tried the same code what I implemented in say DBT on the Databricks, I could have implemented, but it would have taken some time. But these type of modularity, Git connectivity, and the say the data lineage, all these things on a single platform is what differentiates DBT across all the other things. That's what I observed. That's it.
So how about this? Like the code is completely should be written in like a SQL, or does it have any UI interface to develop the code in the DBT?
Okay, DBT has an IDE interface. There is nothing DML here. Everything is CTE, common table expressions. So under the hood, it recreates the DMLs when you touch this module. Right, that Satya told, you have the single statements like DBT run, DBT execute, DBT test. So once you test a particular module, like a DBT module, say module 1, whatever the SQL you write under the hood, it will be created as a view. So those views will be incrementally used in the entire modules of the data flow what you build.
No, I understand behind the scenes or under the hood, but like on any user interface when you try to do it, like does it has any like drag and drop options like Informatica, like join the tables or do the expression or do kind of other things like any other transformations? Do you have
No, I
any
didn't
drag and
find.
drop icons?
No, I
Okay.
didn't find anything like drag and drop like Informatica Power Designer, but it was more like just like a simple IDE screen where you can pull the tables. If you have used the Databricks workspace, it is just like you just pull the data tables from the schema on the left hand side of the panel to the right hand side, and that's the IDE environment. But there is a separate lineage where you can look how the data is flowing and all. I think now Satya
Yeah.
is
So,
available. Yeah.
can you hear me? Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Satya.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, folks coming from in Metalli and all those areas, yeah, Databricks, DBT, the cloud GUI screen has these features, some of the features, but if you use IDE, right? I'm using the Visual Studio, and you can add the DBT modules, and it provides a automated code fill-in and all the stuff and stuff like that. But these are SQLs, right? You write SQL, so it is not like the sophistic maybe is coming, but drag and drop tables and all the stuff. They're adding a lot of features. But for example, here I can connect to my Snowflake and then connect. So mostly we use IDE engine on the non-cloud, on the local development. But yeah, when you go to cloud, and yeah, you can use the cloud tools. But yeah, they're adding more features. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, Satya.
Yeah. So
So-
go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, sir. If I may add one point here, right? The DBT initially, when they started building this tool, it was built as to bridge the gap between your business analysts to your developers. Because anytime they require some model to be built or something for reporting, they have to depend on the IT, right? But you also have people in the business who can actually write SQL, where they can do it. But it's only to that compartmental thing, right? They cannot come into a change control where they have to go from dev to QA to prod, and their code is not audited or anything, right? So just to bridge the gap between the business analyst and the developer, they started building this DBT some time ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But eventually, the tool is now converting into a major transformation tool, which is also going to benefit the developers.
Yeah, that's true, right? And again, the lot of organizations, the code is not in one central place. This code, SQL code is never been audited properly. SQL code, so the data as code concept, right? Coming in more and more. So then these tools are coming in. Then now the word of ETL is gone. Now it is a WAP, right? Audit publish models. Then so the total automation of the data deployment becoming more focused. That's one of the reasons these tools are coming in. Okay. Now, will the drag and drop, easy write SQLs, and then all those things can come in? Yeah, there more and more tools are coming. I see within 2 months the number of differences of packages in the DBT world, because everybody who's writing. I never saw 6 months back the Snowflake packages. Now I see that, and then 4 months back I don't see elementary. So I can, if you look at here, this is my tables, and then my staging tables. Okay, I can see what tests are fast and what tests are failed, and then I can go each and every day. For example, here this table, and then this table is failed, and I can see why it is failed and which column it is failed. I can see that level of lineage, the test results. Then I can go to my lineage. Okay, my local host, right? For example, let me give the one quickly here before we continue. Okay, DBT docs.
And while you're doing that, Sach, I would like to add one more thing.
1 second.
Go
ahead.
So you're writing the code, right? And it can be adapted to any other databases, like you said, if it has the same kind of table structure, and everything that is joining or union to has the same table structure, right? So the one advantage here is, like, when you have different data types within the databases, right? Those are not portable. You have to manually change them, right? When you're migrating from one database to another. With the use of the templating, right, Ginger templating, you can write the template code such a way that depending on your database, the data type can be switched.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that when you use the Ginger code, right? You are basically you're doing a Python code. You can say my target database is Snowflake, and these are my standard data types, or these are my things, or you can write to those things, or within the project, right? Or if it is if I'm running DBT in prod, I want a 3 incremental checkout, right? If I want to DBT in development, you can do different switches. You can do everything in your Ginger code. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Last question, actually. When compared to the big data, it's like a Spark parallelism point of view, how it can get a benefit with the DBT? So it can handle, it's like I'm loading maybe TBs or maybe petabyte size of data.
DBT is doing nothing. Okay, your virtual warehouse is doing the work.
Okay.
DBT is a transformer. That's
okay.
it.
Okay, got it. It's not loading something. Okay.
No, it is submits your SQLs to whatever the virtual warehouse you want to execute, or whatever engine you want. For example, when you're running Databricks, you have cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. Then you can say, my fact table, I'm going to use a cluster 1. My dimension table, I'm going to cluster 2, right? Or my transformation from staging to bronze to silver, I'm going to cluster 3. You can do that. Yeah. Same thing in Snowflake. Okay, which virtual warehouse you want to use for which module?
Got it.
Yeah. This is just a transformation tool, nothing more than that. Okay. When I want to show quickly, okay. I'm in. Yeah. I'm keep changing my code, and then what happened? My package specific again. DBT. So you can survey over the models, right? Now, if you look at here, right? So I built my test, my RAN, then whole 9 yards and everything, my project. Then I want to see, right, my project, the lineages. For example, right now this is my database. This is my projects. I have a Ambari training project, Snowflake spending project. So I'm going to say my training, right? And then I can see here only March. My March module. Okay, these are my tables. But I want to see the whole thing. Then here, if you look at right, for example, right, how is my supplier table is built? Okay, so my supplier table built from nation table, region table, supplier, right, and the DIM supplier, right. So these are my sources. Okay, This is my this is a nation table in this database. This is a region table in this database. I can have a supplier table in a different database, and depends on the bronze layer. Then I do some transformation, internal transformation, saying that I don't like the column names. I want to change the data types, right? Because what if they stored everything as a string, right? I want to convert my data types here. Then once we do that, then what we do is we're gonna join. We're gonna build a okay, good. 1 second, Ram. Give me 1 second. Then you can see your lineage, and then you can look at your documentation. For example, view documentation, right? Then you can see your table types, column types, and then who owns what. And then if you have a description, then column level description, right? So you maintain all your metadata in one place, right? And then how this module built, then I can add a freshness. I can add my validations, my tests and expectations, and you can keep adding it. So I can look at in each and my every table. That's how where now I can publish this document daily, right? I can run my then to my S3 or somewhere. Then the enterprise. Right now I'm running on my laptop, right? But I can move this into the enterprise level. Then everybody can see this read-only the lineage document, saying that how your SQL's built, and then columns and dependencies. Yeah, you can even see the code again. So look at this one. I did not write these codes. I'm sorry. We wrote this code, but behind the scene, it compiles the actual code into, like for example, here using a reference part, right? So this table I might be using, this code I might be using in different places. I can modularize it. So this is how the DBT, and then I'm using another third-party package called Elementary. Then it even takes to the next level, right? This Elementary, when I run the my test, then this test is failed, then I can send this information to my Slack, right? And okay, where is my Slack? Okay, this is my Slack here. Yeah, if you look at here, the table, right? I got I sent it to my Slack. This is I added my Slack, right? Your company has its own Slack. Then you can configure, or you can write in Airflow and everything. Okay, execute my DBT, send it to Slack. Then I can see, okay, what failed and all that stuff. That's what you can automate, that whole everything. Okay, Ram, go ahead. What is the question?
Yes, my understanding is that DBT can run only in one data store, right? But in the lineage, I thought you mentioned that there are
no. I didn't say. DBT runs in Snowflake. DBT runs in Databricks, right? So that means DBT has when in Snowflake you have 100 different. You have a staging database, you have a sales database, you have a marketing database, you have a dimension, you have Mart 1, Mart 2, Mart 3. The purpose of DBT, yes, I can read the data from various sources within my Snowflake, right? And then I can do my transformations, and then I can build my the things. Yeah, so I'm reading data here. I can read data from here, and I can store here. Okay, yeah. So it's not like within the Snowflake. Yeah,
got it. Okay, multiple databases within the Snowflake. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Right? As long as you have access.
Sure. Some other data.
As long as the DBT role has access to these tables and database within the Snowflake, yeah, why not?
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so install, first thing is we done. So when you do install, then so then with DBT there are a lot of features, right? You can compile the code. You don't have to the actually connect and then load into the databases. You can build, you can compile, you can understand your script while you're testing. Now in the cloud, they even made it very simple, right? So that while you're writing the code, you can keep testing continuously. Little bit difficult on the on-prem, but it's fine. So the compiler basically without loading your data, without touching the end systems, and it compiles, make sure that your code is working. And then if you run it, when you run it does all the commands, whatever we need to do. That we will talk about that one. So first thing is profile. Okay, so profile is we'll take another 5 minutes and then we'll stop. A profile is your connection to your database, your cloud. At least you have to have one basic database access and one schema, and then of course you have to have a role. Right now I'm using account admin, nobody does it, but you will build a role, a DBT role or something, who has a power of creating a schemas, of course databases, and then stuff like that. DBT is kind of a power user. You cannot expect DBT is a normal user, like a read-only user or something like that. So then you have a project names, right? You look at this one. I have Ambari DBT, so you also further within the Snowflake you can modularize your projects. For example, here I have Ambari DBT training. Then within this Ambari DBT training, I have development and I have a prod. But you can also have another project called the sales project, and then you can do different roles based on your project description. And for example, I have elementary projects and all that stuff. So a profile, basically it defines your access controls, right? So what is a DBT project? It is a of course DBT project. Now this is a profile, right? So let's talk about a DBT project. This is DBT project, right? Is nothing but some directory file name, right? And then you configure your files. Okay, so here this is my, so don't think in advanced way about your PyCharm or Java code and all that stuff. It's a simple directory. A project. Then that means a project means it has a project file. So here this is a project file. A project file defines your project name. So within our company you can have multiple projects, right? Then depends on the teams. Every team has their own project. Similarly, you have a Java teams. Different Java teams have different Git, different projects. Then you have a data marts team, then you have a DIMS team, then maybe you have a only extract bronze to silver team, right? Again, we are talking about that exactly same words in my client right now. So you have a project name, then your team should have one project name. Then there's another team can have their own project name. Then this project connects to a profile. Okay, so right now my project name, my profile name is same, but you can have Bob Jones profile name, or my company profile one, right? So what does that mean? This project connects to this profile. So what it does is wherever the .dbt, or you can configure, then in the .dbt, right? Then cd here. Let's go to. So then it says, okay, this is my profile name. Okay, this is my project name, this is my profile. This project connects to this profile, and then goes to one of the databases. Which database? Okay, I have two databases, right? For example, I have a prod and dev. Well, which database it is going to connect? We will talk about more. What is the default connection? What is the let's say I have a prod, create, dev, load test in my application, in my project. Which one I'm connecting to, right? Yeah, I'm connecting to this profile, but this profile has different databases, different regions. Which one we connect and how we connect and how do you deploy your code, we'll discuss. Yeah. So for this, I will stop. This is 1 hour class today. Next week, I will do a 2 hour class. Then we will 8 to 10. So then we can spend more time, because 2-hour class is information is overloaded. That's what the problem I'm facing. Okay. Any questions before we?
Hey, Satya, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Satya, how can we use the DBT in on-prem? Like, is it possible, or is it only for the cloud provider?
No, it's on-prem. We right now, I have a cloud Snowflake, but we are using on-prem DBT core right now because the companies. Neeraj, can you mute it? The company is not ready to commit, right? They want to do some tests, POCs, right? So we are using on-prem, exactly same thing. Whatever I'm showing today, it's a similar code in my client, right? There's no difference. This is not a YouTube thing. So this is what we are doing in the client. Then I brought it to the few things here for demo. Okay. Yeah, your cloud databases can use on-prem DBT, or your on-prem database also can use as for example, you have a SQL server or Postgres, you can use it. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, next.
Hey, Satya. So I know the concept of development DB, production DB, and stage different kinds. So what is this gold, silver, bronze? What is the convention?
Yeah, sorry. The Databricks guys, they use the medallion models. You have a bronze means raw data, right? Silver means some transformed cleanup data and all that stuff. Gold means the final data, then where the BI reports and data marts they can connect. So that's what the Databricks guys, they use that wording. Some people use curated zone and all zones, these zones. But at the end, you have a garbage coming in, then you clean up, and then finally you present it to the end user. Put it that way, very simple. Yeah,
so
don't get confused on those branches. I mean, when you go to Databricks, they use these words, so you need to also use these words to present to the in the sales way. Yeah. Oh, Neeraj, go ahead. You're breaking, Neeraj. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let's suppose there is a bronze zone, maybe in on-premise or say Cloudera or Hadoop, and you have the silver and the gold and and platinum zones maybe in say Snowflake. Now with DBT, you said that DBT can only have the lineage from one particular system. So what is the best way to have the end-to-end lineage so that I don't miss out the the bronze layer? Should I firstly, is that possible to have the bronze layer also, since it's in a separate system? I based on your discussion today, I don't think so, but you can correct me. And if I need to have the that end-to-end lineage which is lying in different system, what will be the best way for DBT to have that lineage as well included?
Yeah, I don't know correct answer for that, right? For example, let's say you have Exadata in on-prem Exadata copying data into your branch layer, right? Using the Golden Gate, right? So that is a totally different system, right? So Exadata to Golden Gate writing into your branch layer, or your Kafka, somebody is publishing. Somebody is can you put a mute? Yeah, somebody is publishing from Kafka and writing into your branch, so it's Kafka domain. So it's DBT doesn't understand what Kafka doing. DBT doesn't understand what Golden Gate doing. But that lineage information, how to integrate DBT, I don't know. There may be tools coming in, but yeah, it's a totally different system, right? Your data.
So do you recommend that bronze layer, which is like in an outside world for Snowflake, to be brought into Snowflake, and then you can have that kind of end-to-end?
No, but again, the bronze layer you are saying is bronze layer in Cloudera.
In say high tables, say outside Snowflake, and you only have a couple
no,
of
it
rows.
doesn't. No, I'm keep it right. So it is with you look at the profile. The profile is the first connection for DB, right? So it makes the connection to Snowflake. Then it works within the domain of the Snowflake.
Okay, got it. I got it. My answer. So from that.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for something like a lineage enterprise-wide, then you have to look for different tools. There are tools like Colibra or there's another one like Informatica who provide lineage across multiple, like for the enterprise. So you can connect that tool like Colibra to your SQL Server database, to your cloud-based databases, and then ingest metadata from each of those databases into it, and then build lineage within that tool, and then which is kind of becomes a manual effort because it doesn't understand which one is the source, which one is the
I mean that's a typical, the metadata framework that we can have. I was just trying to have that information if from a DBT context, like if I only have to use DBT.
Yeah, DBT is focused not on lineage. It's focused more on the code, where modularizing code and kind of building it for multiple databases at the same time. Now, lineage is kind of a byproduct of it.
Yeah, exactly. How to install DBT locally? Yeah, I mean, I sent you, right? Right. So if you look at I attached the image to the invite, but yeah, how to install? Yeah, this is the how to install, right? Where is how to install?
Got it.
Yeah, this is a right. Create a your environment and then install setup tool and wheel, and then install whatever. Yeah, you just run these commands, it will automatically. Yeah, Redshift and BigQuery. So now the DBT, of course, BigQuery is supporting, and then Iceberg also there. BigQuery is supporting. All these guys support Iceberg now. So yeah, then you take advantage of some of this Iceberg. I have not added that one yet. Okay. What
so
else?
Satya, as I understood that these codes are related to the Linux codes, right? So how about for those people having up the Windows machine? So it be directly installed without going.
People works in Python, works in the Windows. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Python is Python, right? Doesn't matter. It's Windows. So this exactly same syntax. You can run it in. You don't have to run the setup tool, I guess, in Windows. But yeah, you create a. But in Windows, you may have to use Conda, and Conda, Python.
Yeah,
then after that, So activate the install Conda, then install Python version, then activate the Conda, whatever the environment name is. Then after that, pip install of these modules. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Thank
you. Satya, just one question here, Prasanna. Have you tried setting up using Docker, because it doesn't follow the same folder structure that you have just showing, right?
The folder structure is Docker. I didn't try the Docker yet. But in folder structure, right, you can build whichever way you want, right? But there is a module. If you look at the standard folders, right, you have modules, right? You have macros, you have seeds, you have a snapshot. Then target, it will build. You have a test, right? If you have a test, you can create a test. If you have a seeds, you create a seeds. If you have a snapshot, you create a snapshot. If you don't have a snapshot, you don't create. But the basic is modules, right? And that's it. Then automatically when you execute, it creates your log. It creates logs. Macros, so we'll walk through how to create a project, right? So basically, generally, what is suggested is you use DBT. Okay, where is that one? Let's go to before we even. Okay. Let's go to one. I will send this. Right. So if you do DBT init, right? So it will build this structure for you automatically, right? You give some project name, then it will ask, okay, which database, do you want to connect Snowflake or Redshift or Databricks? And what is the database name? What is user ID? What is your account? Right? then automatically it creates the profile in .dbt directory. So all you have to do is run dbt init, then follow the instructions, right? Give the project name, whatever project name, then it will ask you your Snowflake account. It will ask you, do you want to install Snowflake or Databricks or whatever? Then select, then give the Snowflake account, and then give the Snowflake user ID, password, and database name, and stuff like that. So this is how you install in first project. You don't have to. You can automatically copy and create from another project here, but this is they are also providing init. So they will build the directory structure for you, including Git and all the stuff.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey Satya, quick question. So if there are some failures during this transformation, can you kill the entire the transformation processes, or
it won't load? It won't load.
So is it running as a separate processes within the Snowflake warehouse?
Think about, right? Remove the DBT. Let's say you have a SQLs, right? You have a .SQL file. What do? Right? You read a master table. Let's say, for example, fact and dims. What do? First, you build the dims, right? You create some keys. Then after that, you build the facts. Then after that, how do you build the facts? You get the grains and then data. Then you build a grain and then you attach to your fact dims. It's exactly the same thing it is doing behind. So DBT is basically creating a SQLs for you, then submitting those SQLs in a particular order because it knows the order, and then it will deploy it. Now your question is, if some reason something failed, and then DBT knows, no, that's your engine. That is, it already gave it to the DBT. DBT is not managing the session. For that, you need to go to data as code concept.
Oh, okay. I think I'm clear now. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Again, there are multiple parts, right? DBT is providing you a way of doing the transformations. Now, while you are loading data, then if a data failed, how to restore, right? And those are things. That's where you need to integrate this one part of your DBT as code concept together. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Then there is no single point of failure as well. Got it. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Remember, there is a word, shit happens. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dhananjay?
Hi Satya, thanks for the talk, and thanks everyone for the opinions you bring here. I think you touched upon the previous question that I wanted to ask. Like, this is mainly around, as you mentioned, it's like preparing your code. I mean, data as a code, but the deployment part would be different. For example, if I'm preparing probably a project for, let's say, Hive that I'm most familiar with, then I'll be preparing the entire model as a SQL over here in DBT, and then I'll be deploying with whatever scheduler it is having, kind of Uzi or control M, whatever that Hive supports, and then it would be a different life cycle, right? That is what I think DBT plays a picture in.
Right. You have to be careful when you talk about Hive, right? I mean, let's say you get data into Hive, then we do alter partitions where we do load, we do data cleansing, and then create another fact tables in another database. All those things you're writing SQL, and then you're running through a cron job, right? But then every time, if somebody want to change the code, then what they go to hard drive, they modify it, and then somebody has to change code. So all together we are bringing together in one place. Then it providing you end to end. Then everybody can see what SQLs you wrote, how these are joined, what is your business logic, what is the documentation, what is the column level, table level, everything you can see in one place.
I think that is very a good opportunity here that is DBT bringing. I've seen people using Git and writing SQL there and then putting into checking into Git and then deploying it and then using it, and if there is an issue, right, and then putting it back into their project space and then using it, right? So I think this is very good when you get integrated space where you can work as a data developer and then do things. just one last question from my side. Have you heard or have you used Hive and DBT before, or is it something that is
No,
on paper?
the Cloudera introduced DBT from 1 month back only, right?
Okay.
And they introduced only DBT on the CDP in cloud, right?
Okay.
So I have not tested that one, right? And I've been in Cloudera since 2011, right? Or Hortonworks. But the I do CDP work on cloud, but I have not tested DBT on CDP yet. I have not tested Iceberg on CDP or
No
DBT.
worries.
Yeah, I have not tested this one, but I was
I'll keep an
testing.
eye, yeah. And in
Yeah,
case if I find it of prior to you, I'll probably share my observations.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So so Databricks is easy, or Snowflake is easy to start the control plane. So that's why I was testing on it. But yeah, Cloudera CDP has challenges, but yeah, I do mostly. I was a consultant to Cloudera now, so we do projects for them. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
For CI/CD, it is supporting only a particular tool like Jenkins, or is it like supporting all other tools?
No, they don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, whichever Git does, they support both. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Bala, go ahead.
Yes, Satya. Like, can we use the store procedure in this DPT, or what is, like, if it is not, then what is a similar concept we can implement the DPT?
Can we execute stored procedures? Yes.
We can write the store procedure in this DPT, like multiple DML or something, like, just for example, I'm writing like a kind of a store procedure language in the DPT. Then I will be using the store procedure like a reusability for this my, like, any database in this. Or
No. I mean, you can compile the stored procedure and execute the stored procedure from the DBT. Yeah.
which like, if it is from Teradata, then just I can call it the store procedure from the Teradata using the connection. Is it? Or
No, but the stored procedure you write in Snowflake, right?
Okay.
Are you using SQL stored procedure? Are you using a JavaScript stored procedure? Right? It has its own syntax, and the same stored procedure will not be compiled in a SQL Server or Teradata, right? Because stored procedure or Oracle, right? Everybody has their own language, even the SQL engine. So on that part, I would avoid. Yeah.
Okay, my question is here, like, let's say I have a existing store procedure in this Teradata. Okay,
then you can execute it. Yeah, from data DBT you can execute a stored procedure.
Okay. For any store procedure, like any, like in a Oracle PLSQL or in Teradata or
Whatever you connected, right? For example, DBT connected to Snowflake. You can execute Snowflake stored procedures on those databases.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But you cannot submit a new store procedure code. Is what
no, because
makes sense.
You can write a SQL, right? And then you can. I would not go with that route. Yeah.
And that SQL should also be ANSI SQL.
Remove the concept of stored procedures. The era of stored procedures is gone, right? Don't sticky with stickiness, right? What does that mean is don't stick with one thing. The era of stored procedures are moving away. Think in Spark, think in Python, think in easy way of doing your coding. Yeah.
Yeah, the issue with Snowflake was until now that your stored procedure JavaScript stored procedures. You still have to know SQL plus JavaScript. So DBT kind of fills that gap now.
Yeah.
So any new database which comes up and if DBT supports, then you're golden. You don't have to rewrite the code.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So even we used to write a lot of stored procedures in Oracle PLSQL. Now,
yeah,
there is who is writing? I mean, they are still writing, but I would not recommend writing stored procedures. Think twice before writing a stored procedure, because that means you are stuck with one tool forever.
Satya, this is Neeraj. Are organizations using orchestration tools like Informatica, Medallion with DBT in general?
The organizations already stuck with a lot of Informatica and data stage and Metallians already, right? Now they're introducing this new tool, and then slowly there are changes happening in the architecture, solution architecture. Yeah, this is new tool, right? Came in, right? This is already people as Metallian. Then I'm sure Metallian is sales guy sitting and okay, why are you using DBT and other stuff slow? But yeah, there is a shift happening. Yeah, it is happening. Are they using? Yes, both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot just replace Metallian. Just I bought a DBT today, you cannot replace Metallian tomorrow, right? Because there is a lot of investment happen. Then slowly they are migrating it.
No, I'm just trying to understand. Say their CI/CD, their USP is CI/CD, right? The DBT and Informatica, they have their own way of also the deployment groups once and then.
That's what the biggest challenge I see is the data engineers. Whenever we talk about CI/CD, DBT, they oh my god, right? They think totally blown out of proportion. That's what we see in every presentation I talk. Oh, I'm writing SQLs. My SQLs are in hard drive. Now you're talking about CI/CD, automation, other things. This is new era for a lot of data engineers. And most of the data analysts become data engineers. And
historically, some companies have made big investments in CI/CD for SQL, but it's not for any agile organization. It's going backwards, and it's possible. It's been done before, just not something that is convenient and cost effective.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So 10:30 Chicago time. So we will drop the call and thank you all. So we'll continue our actual practice in the next class. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
you
you,
all.
Satya. Thank you.
Thanks, Satya.
Thank you all.